I'm going to launch straight into this. 27 hours over 2 weeks, mostly playing at night. That's how long I spent on this game. And I'd say I only spent about 12 hours on the story. It was a complicated love-hate relationship because I really loved every moment of it. But I also didn't like the fact that I spent 27 hours playing it. It doesn't work. I mean, this is just a piece of paper and tape. That's like the best prop I could think of for this one. Anyway, roll intro! One of the weirdest things about Horizon Zero Dawn genuinely has been the fact that you can walk straight through the forest and then randomly get so absolutely destroyed by a robot that you don't know who your parents are anymore. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you are. All you know is that you need to fight. And that was freaking wonderful. Like, I cannot begin to explain to you how annoying it is that shakes the camera. I cannot begin to explain like the full range of emotions and like feelings I had during this game because, as I said, it took 27 hours, so I can't even remember everything that I did. But I do remember side quests. I do remember exploring. I do remember just finding random stuff. I remember so many random things going through this game that I'm kind of ashamed to say that when this thing launched in 2016, I was one of those Xbox fanboys going like, it's not that good. We've got Tomb Raider, we've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's coming up, I think, Shadow of the Tomb Raider 2020. Anyway, we had it coming up and I was like, yeah, that's good enough. That'll be better than Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, I was wrong. And I kind of get why the PlayStation fans were like, yeah, you guys really need to play this game if there's nothing else you play on PlayStation. So, before we continue and do all the other stuff, I just have to say that. Also, I wasn't prepared for some of the voice actors in this game. We're going to get to that later. So, one of the unexpected things like that I truly enjoyed about this game was actually just running. Like, I cannot begin to explain to all of you the last time I actually enjoyed just doing that. Like, actually physically exploring the world of Horizon Zero Dawn is fun. There's monsters, or robots, there's human enemies, and there's things to just find, but it's not so big and so overwhelming like so many other games can be that I didn't want to do it, that I like got bored or overwhelmed or frustrated. I'd say Horizon Zero Dawn has the perfect world for its story, because its story does kind of take you to each separate part of it at least once. And every single time it happens, it's for a good story reason. Like, in the real world, we won't have all of these things right next to each other. We will have them like miles apart. And so it makes sense that in the world of Horizon Zero Dawn, which is post-apocalyptic, these things are very far away from each other. So, before we launch into the gameplay talk, that was basically it. I just wanted to say this game was really fun to play. And I don't think most people are going to have actually anything all that dramatic to say about this review, because it's a pretty normal, dead-ass, straight-up review. So, explain how the game is fun to play. Sorry, that's like on my notes. Seriously, I think I already said this, so I'm going to say this again. But the atmosphere in the game is also really fun. I think it's important to like establish this, because you get like 3 or 4 biomes. It's snow, you get forest, you get desert, and I want to say almost farmy, but it's like jungly. It's weird. And of course all the tech areas and like the machines and the buildings and stuff like that. But it's very, very, very important to remember when I say all of this that I wanted to play this game. Like, there was no point where I was sitting there, I was like, I don't want to play, I don't feel like doing this is a chore. It just didn't happen. It was all fantastic. And what helped to do that was like just a whole bunch of different things. You can tell that I'm doing like a bullet point list of stuff here, right? Not the normal like proper script. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent there, sorry. What helped to make this game so fun to play was also the way the weapons work. Because most games like this go, here's like 70 different weapons that you can use. Here's all the modifications of them. We've got RNG on them, and honestly, I think Horizon Zero Dawn should be freaking celebrated for the fact that you only get about 4 or 5 weapons. You get like the one melee weapon. There's only one melee weapon. It's a spear. And then you get a slingshot, basically, a tripcaster, which is a weapon that shoots out traps, a rope caster, which is to keep monsters, robots down. I keep calling them monsters. I don't know why. Then you get the bow and arrow, and yeah, I think that's about it. Then you get like the heavy weapons that are like guns and stuff that like fall down, but you don't carry them with you, so I don't really count them. They're like environmental stuff. And all of them have ammo that you can make. Like, that's kind of the gameplay loop, I want to say. You need to go get robots so that you have all the material to make more ammo so you can get more robots. And that is such a small and brilliant gameplay loop in a game like this that I genuinely didn't realize that it was the gameplay loop until quite late into my gameplay. Because I'm not always that smart, I'm pretty thick. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that I really enjoyed. Like, there was a reason to do it. There was never a point where I went like, oh, this is such a chore, I don't want to go and do that. No, it was like, oh, I need more blades. Where can I find blades effectively? Longhorns got four pieces of blades on them, and then there's like the long legs that also have like 4 pieces of blades on them, and then there was the big freaking, I call them ticks. I don't know what their real name is. Editor, put that up. Editor, I'm the editor. And they spew fire or ice and stuff, and I kind of liked it because they give 14 blades, but they take significantly more just like overall focus and ammo and stuff to kill, right? And I love that. It was so awesome. That's the weapons, right? But there's something else as well that's very important about Horizon Zero Dawn that I think we need to address, is it doesn't force you to play in a certain way. You can sneak around this map, never be seen, and kill almost everything except like the big boss battles and get away with it. Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. But if you get the right weapons, and if you really want to, you can go in, guns blazing, and you'll be really successful. You'll need to dodge like a mother puffer, but you'll be very successful at doing that. It is a choice that you can do. You can do a hybrid like I did, where I usually sneak into a base, get a few people out of the way, get like a few strategic targets, and then I go, okay, I need to kill that big monster. I'm not gonna like sneak around and try and do it. I'm just gonna do it. That's how I play the game. At no point did I feel like I had to do a specific thing to actually get what I wanted. Like when I wanted a specific armor, I just spent the next 2 hours getting all the stuff, hunting all the robots, hunting all the animals, getting all the resources, getting the shards to get that armor. I didn't think about it. I didn't struggle. I think that's very important for like just the overall game and just the game, right? But that touches on like what I want to say. The last stuff on the gameplay that I want to talk about is the game makes a reason for you, for me, to engage with the world. Like, there was no point where I was like, I'm just gonna run through this area because I don't want to deal with this right now because these beasts are just an annoyance. Yes, there were times when I did do that, when I wanted to like get to a point, but it was never between me and an end goal to the point that it was annoying. It was, oh, I need to get through these monsters to get to the quest point. How am I going to do that? I'm going to engage with the world. I'm going to use the abilities and the weapons that I have been given. And just general exploration was the same as well. Like, I think it's very important that we do take a look, and I'm going to show it obviously on screen right now. I didn't ever feel like I didn't want to do things. Like, I didn't mind collecting stuff along the way because it wasn't like a 10-20 second cutscene. It was immediate. And when you collected things from robots or humans, it was hold E, collect it, grab everything, move on. Done and dusted. Collecting resources, E, done and dusted. No problems, no gutting, no cutting, no freaking 5-second repetitive thing to look at every single time. It was done and boom. That being said, there was like one very obvious thing that I said. It took me 27 hours to finish this game. And the reason for that is because I chose to initially play on normal difficulty. Because I was like, yeah, I'm up for that challenge. And it was so fun. Playing this game on normal difficulty makes every single monster quite difficult, right? And it makes my weapons quite ineffective and my resources required to build ammo quite high. I can only imagine that on higher difficulty it's even more intense, but on normal difficulty it was just at that sweet spot where I was enjoying it. But I did start noticing a few problems, and I did change the difficulty down to story, which was in a way a problem because I had been playing for I think 12 hours by that point on normal difficulty. So when I changed its difficulty down to story, everything got so easy. It was so easy. Like, you'll see me not giving a damn for the entire second half of the story, and I'm showing it to you guys right now. There I am, literally getting blasted by Deathbringers and cultists and everything else, and just being like, I'm not even going to heal because it's not me. Genuinely, if you play this game on story mode, that's what you get. You get to experience the story of Horizon Zero Dawn. You really don't actually need to care about your levels or your gear. But coming from a normal, off normal play, obviously I did. So I was very much over-leveled and overpowered, and so strong that nothing was a challenge for me. Because I'm assuming that if you play this game in story mode, by the time you finish the story, you're only around level 15 or 16. I entered story mode at level 25. I finished it at level 31 or 32. So I was way overpowered. But that said, the freaking weapons stay fun. Like, holy cow. Did the weapons stay so much fun? It's important to know that, like, at no point did I not like the weapons. So that's the gameplay. Like, I can't really say more about the gameplay. Like, I can go into the nitty-gritty stuff, but some of the nitty-gritty gameplay stuff is a problem, and I will address that in that section of the video. So I'm not going to spoil the story of Horizon Zero Dawn, because I think if we do spoil it, it's going to cause people not to play it. Though you do need to know the story of Horizon Zero Dawn if you want to play Horizon Forbidden West. It's a very good story. It's a very intense story. It's a very much a story, especially with the modern AI and the way people are treating it. I think it's actually much more prevalent and important now than it ever was in the past. So, yeah, that's fun to think about. The reason I say that, right, And the reason it's titled that is because my PC was built in 2023. So this game released on PC quite a while ago as well. So in theory, I should be capable of ultraing this game. Because I don't have a 4K monitor. I don't have a high resolution monitor. I've got like a 60 FPS high definition screen from 2011. If that gives you like an idea of how hard my computer has to work. It's got a 4060 in it. I know this isn't the best system, but it's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got an 8-core AMD Ryzen graphics CPU in it. So it is like I've played Hogwarts Legacy at Ultra with RTX on. And I got 30 freaking frames per second, but I could do it for a few seconds. And that's the problem. I can't play this game smoothly because I've got massive frame drops. And I've got areas where the game actually did crash because it had to render in a new area. And it's only every now and then, or sometimes when I'm moving through an area too fast, like I'm running through it and it needs to load in something, it like struggles, like it stutters, or like it loads something new. And I know this is from the game side and not from the PC side, because you can kind of tell when a game has bad porting. And from what I understand, this is like something that people know about Horizon Zero Dawn. It does have not the best porting like stuff going on with it. So that's about it. Yeah, what else can I say about the graphics? Oh yeah, this is important. It's 8 years old, but it looks beautiful. It looks like, whoa, boys. This game does not entirely look like an 8-year-old game. And since Forbidden West has better graphics, I am genuinely looking forward to playing that game. Hopefully soon. I don't know if I'll be able to afford it, but I definitely want to freaking try and play it and just have a ton of fun, because this game looks fantastic. Like, the grass looks good, the trees look good, the environments are fantastic, Aloy looks good, like even in-game rendering. I think there is only in-game rendering, there's no like video graphics. And one of the things that's so fantastic about it is it's not just the graphics that's good. The sound in this game is phenomenal. Like, it is top tier, 10 out of 10. Whoever did the sound design deserves an award of their own. Because there was one section in this game where I was looking for a fox skin, rabbit skin, and a boar skin, right? So I went off of Meridian. There was like a little foresty area there with waterfall sounds and stuff. I got lost on purpose because I just wanted to wander around, experience this side of the game. Like, it was genuinely fun just to be in the environment with the sounds of the birds, the sound of the water, the animals. It was fantastic. And it's like that with everything else in the game as well. Like, the graphics for the robots themselves, I almost said monsters. The robots themselves, always fun to look at because they look fantastic. The lighting on them is great. The effects of weapons hitting them, their own attacks look so amazing. Like, this is the complete opposite of Prey, where I got bored at looking at the mimics. In Horizon Zero Dawn, I wanted to absorb every single thing these robots were doing. I wanted to see them fighting. I wanted to see their attacks. I wanted to attack them. I wanted to see them just grazing sometimes. Because when they're out grazing, they've got different animations and different kinds of stuff they're doing. Because they're terraforming the world, right? So, yeah, that was a bit of a spoiler. Anyway, so that's genuinely like, this game looks fantastic. Yeah, it runs a little shit because the porting wasn't done perfectly from PlayStation. But it looks fantastic. It's really long. Like, no, it's really long. You can tell that they made this game for a bunch of people that knew they had no other games to play. Like, if you only had a PlayStation, this game probably was like the only thing you needed for half a year to play, because it would probably take me that long to finish every single side quest and finish every single collectible and get everything that I want and go everywhere, and now do the expansion, which I haven't even done yet. I haven't touched it. I haven't gone close to it. So that's kind of like pretty freaking amazing. But it's also pretty bad because I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to play Horizon Zero Dawn for the story. And that's kind of where the problem came in, because my difficulty was set on normal. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it in story mode from the start. Obviously, because I wanted to get a little bit of a challenge, right? Like an Elden Ring kind of thing. Obviously not as difficult as Elden Ring, but almost. So what happened? Why did I change the difficulty down to story? The problem was the amount of time I needed to spend on resource gathering outweighed the rewards. Because, like, for example, there's this one slingshot thing, right? That's a bomb. Straight up, it's just you launch a grenade. That's what you do. It required a bunch of other stuff, but most importantly, it required blaze. It required 4 blaze, units of blaze, right? To make 2 of them. I wanted to say 1, but it's 2. I always forget. Now you get a skill that makes that go from 2 to 3 per like creation, but that's still not the base, because like I'm not kidding you. Blaze is this big, like 1 unit of blaze, right? Is this big in the world, and grenade is this small. There's some disproportionate thing happening there because they can't compress the blaze, because as far as I can tell, blaze is just it's just oil of some kind. That's like, so you can't compress oil, right? So that's a problem. Now you've got to put together with that blaze is required for every single thing that makes fire. So your fire traps requires blaze, your bomb trap requires blaze. The slingshot has 3 different kinds of things that it can shoot: proximity, sticky, and normal grenades. All 3 of them require blaze. And then your actual bow and arrow has a fire arrow that also requires blaze. So you can pretty much imagine I got very annoyed by this very quickly, because I had to keep collecting blaze. I spent 2 hours, like I said earlier, I spent 2 hours trying to get enough blaze so that I can continue the story, because I knew I needed fire, because one of the main weaknesses of all robots is fire. I didn't have enough blaze to make more fire arrows. So I had to go back. For 2 hours, I went and fought tallnecks, and I fought those fire speary tick stuff until I had about 40 to 50 blaze units on me, and I used all of them in one main mission quest, and that actually made me quit for the night. I mean, it was fortunately like 11 p.m. by that time, but I quit because I was like, that's not fun. That's not how that works. And that's kind of the problem with the game. That's the only problem with the game. Like, it got so annoying to do the resource collection stuff for certain stuff. Not all of them, because I had thousands of freaking pieces of wood. I had literally hundreds of watcher eyes. Like, all of the other stuff was fine. It's only the blaze that was really annoying, and what's the currency, right? The shards, that's pieces of metal. That also kept being very, very low. Very low. Right? But that's fine, because also the reason I'm bringing up shards is because you need shards to make every single weapon. Like, every single piece of ammo that you need needs some kind of shard. Your arrows need shard. Everything needs shards, right? So that was a pretty big issue, especially if you're running around with 400 shards. You need to make 50 hard arrows. It's 10 shard per 10 hard arrows. So that's 1 piece of shard per arrow, right? Now you're down to 450. And you use those 50 up, and now you're down to 400. And pretty soon you don't have any shards left. And collecting shards is like, you collect 4 or 5 shards at a time. Even from the biggest robots, you collect 4 or 5 shards at a time. Very unoptimized there. But of course, I did get over it by changing the difficulty to story mode, which is fine. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It was annoying that I had to do it, and what annoyed me about it the most was once I did change the difficulty down to story mode, the monsters died in like 1 to 2 hits, which tells me that either I'm doing an insane amount of damage all of a sudden, or their health decreased. And I found out later that on harder difficulties, the damage is the thing that changes, because their the robot's damage gets increased on harder difficulty and mine gets decreased, which is kind of another issue that I had with normal. I was level 20, 24, I think, 25, and I had to go back and fight level 4 or 5 watchers, and I was struggling, I tell you, to get these things down. Not because I didn't know how. One solid shot to the eye and the watcher dies. But if a watcher comes at me and starts flinging his stuff, he can still kill me when I'm level 24 or 25 in 2 or 3 hits. That's not right. What's the point of leveling up there? Like, I'm genuinely, when that started happening, I was just like, I may as well not have bothered leveling up or getting any skills. Because now, you people are probably thinking, oh yeah, but that's like, no, Elden Ring doesn't do that to you. If you get to level like 50 or 60 in Elden Ring, you're no longer going to die in 2 to 3 hits, number one, because your health bar is going to be massive, right? And if your health bar isn't massive, your overall abilities will be so strong that you can defeat low-level boss monsters much easier. That's like the whole point of Elden Ring. That's what they first teach you when you get out of the tutorial zone is, this boss isn't for you right now. You can defeat him if you spend 8 to 10 hours trying to defeat him, but he's not for you right now. You need to come back with better equipment, higher level, and a horse. Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't have that. The difficulty decides what happens to you, and if the difficulty is on normal, I can tell you it's a slog. That's basically it. Like this entire section has been, it's a slog. Right? That's the only issue. It becomes so time consuming trying to get the right stuff, trying to get more stuff, that it becomes pointless, right? And then when I set the difficulty to story mode, I basically became nearly untouchable. Like, especially when I got the special armor that's got the shield on it. Yeah, like, I finished the last 2 bosses without ducking and without dodging. I just straight up killed them. I was like, okay, shot them until they died. What I would have preferred to happen is there being some kind of difficulty setting. Like, normal is usually this difficulty setting, that's why I chose it, where at level 1 I get pummeled quite easily. My shots don't do a lot of damage, but once I've got fully geared up, lower level robots would be easy to defeat. Robots of my level would be much more difficult to defeat. I would have to use some tactics. And then higher level robots would be challenging, but could also be defeated. Instead, what happened at normal, everything wanted to kill me very fast, and nothing that I had could kill anything very fast. Unless I was somehow capable of fighting 7 robots at the same time and shooting all of them at their exact weak spots, which, let's be honest, yeah, I don't have the skills for that now, but I don't have the time to get that skill. So that's about it. That's actually the only bad thing. Yeah, I went, oh yeah. I was talking about Silas, right? I did not know that Lance Reddick was in this game, and when he first talked to me, yeah, it was pretty difficult. I was like, oh shit, that's Lance, yeah. Oh no. And I read that he's in the second game as well, so that's going to be quite fun. Well, let's get to the ending then. Yes, play the damn game. You should definitely play this game. On PC or PlayStation, it's good. It's got one hell of a story. You may be depressed by the story at certain points, but that's part of it. That's part of the experience. You should play this game. What's worse is I can totally see the tech pros that are currently bouncing around the United States of America actually implementing exactly the issue that is within Zero Dawn. Like, this is a very scarily realistic story, and if you can, get the expansion to the game and get the second game with it. Both of them have fantastic stories. Both of them look fantastic. And what's even better, I see that PlayStation wants to remake Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't quite know how they're going to do that for the PC. Probably only for the PlayStation 5 or something. Definitely worth it. Get it. That's all I have to say about that. Get the damn game. Okay, guys. Yeah, that has been my Horizon Zero Dawn experience. If you've been hearing Leroy in the back scratching himself, okay, he's getting on his bed now. Phew, so loud. So yeah, that's been Horizon Zero Dawn. 27 hours. Like, it took me so long to play this game, and I genuinely loved every moment of it. If you guys like want to, please subscribe. Definitely subscribe and like the video so that it gets spread around a little bit. These reviews are like, they actually take up quite a lot of work, because it's not just playing a game and posting the footage, it's actually editing as well. It takes like 4 or 5 days to edit the footage from these things, and like just the voice alone takes quite a while. So if you don't, I don't know, just please, I don't know, I'm not gonna beg you. Why do I say please? I'm not gonna beg you. Like the video. Oh shit, I'm gonna bleep that. That was bleeped. As always, I love you more than the next one, and I love you more than the previous one. If you'll excuse me, I now need to go and just like gather myself a little bit, because Lance Reddick only appeared to me 3 days ago in the game, and I'm genuinely still like, oh, this is like actually a famous person that has died that's affecting me now. That usually doesn't quite happen. It's not quite a personal affectation, but you know. Cheers, guys.